Welcome to Transform Now, the podcast brought to you by robotic process automation pioneer Blue Prism. Digital transformation has the potential to reshape the way companies service their customers, engage their employees, and manage their operations. Whether you're looking to develop strategies, tactics, and best practices to positively impact the future of work, or you're curious to learn how other companies have successfully navigated their digital transformation programs, then this podcast is for you. We're here to help you transform now.
Hello, and welcome to Transform Now. This is Zena Seaton, Vice President of Customer Experience with Blue Prism and a co-founder of Women in RPA. Today, I have with me Vipul Tiwari from Amazon. Hi, Vipul.
Hi, Zena. How are you? Thanks for inviting me here. It's great to be in this podcast.
Yes, wonderful to have you with us. Where are you based, Vipul?
I'm from Pink City of India, Jaipur, and I work from there. Yeah.
Great. Well, I am in Austin, Texas today, so very pleased to be speaking with you. It's awesome that technology can bring us together like this. Talk about yourself and your career and how you found yourself in automation.
This might sound a little poetic, but what I believe is that the field of automation was the one that found me. Allow me to elaborate a little on the same. So I'm from Pink City of India, as I said, Jaipur, and I completed my education there, finishing my BTech degree in the field of electronic and communication. I kick-started my professional career with a telecom giant as a site engineer. The company provided me with many learning opportunities in the form of trainings and certification, and I was always on the lookout for them. Experimenting a bit in the telecom and networking domain, it was robotic process automation, RPA, and artificial intelligence that drew my attention. And while I was doing my engineering, we had few coding courses as well. And I had never envisioned myself to be working as a software developer. But it was the ease of these RPA tools like Blue Prism that made it easy for me to start my development journey. Features like simple drag and drop, no code platforms made it so easy for me to get into development and help me in understanding it. That now I do hard code development using these tools, as well as other languages like Python, Java, etc. All these helped me in propelling myself to become an architect in my previous organization. I selected Blue Prism as my starting step and enhanced my knowledge of the tool via trainings and got the Blue Prism certified developer, the professional certifications as well. So it was due to my interest and extra efforts that I have put in that the automation head of my department interested me with some RP project. And it was then that I was able to establish my career in the domain that I wanted. That was my first step. And now I'm working as a process simplification and optimization architect. In just 4.5 years of experience, I've gained the knowledge of not only automation tools, but also tools supporting it like business process management tools, AP and Pega, reporting tools like Tableau, Power BI, data storing tools, databases, AWS Cloud, etc. And over the years, I've participated in many hackathons and even got privileged to judge a few. I have been an active member of Blue Prism community, leading to my BP MVP title 2 times in a row. I have had the pleasure of mentoring few freshers in technologies, also attended and conducted many conferences on RPA. And this is how automation has now become one of my deepest passion.
I love it. I love it. You can hear the passion in your voice. Sounds like it's been a very rewarding career for you as well.
Yeah, it has been a roller coaster.
Your title is very interesting and you covered a swath of things that you do there. Maybe can you share with us what a day in your life looks like?
From my experience, what I've seen is in the automation domain, we have some automation developers whose focus is on automating the process irrespective of the fact whether this makes the business work more simple or complex. They simply pick the process and see it from an eye of automating it, even though that might not be the best for the process now. As a process simplification and optimization developer, business is the main priority for me. My main focus is not to just automate the process, is to simplify and optimize the process. Maybe via automation or any other method or technology that fits. And I think this is something one must keep in mind while automating any process. Having the bigger picture in mind is always useful while designing solutions to the problems. Like, for example, in some process, there is a need of simple improvements in the process flow that will create a streamlined system. So my suggestion for the business should be the same. Instead of suggesting a full-scale automation for the process, though automation will benefit my teams in terms of more opportunities and use cases, I understand, but the business process will not be improved. So one needs to be mindful about the impact and efforts involved in automating something, cost, effort versus benefit case. I also remember one example from my experience that I can think of sharing now. One of our business teams has approached me with a use case they wanted to get optimized and asked for my opinion on the same. I saw a very good case of automation could be built for that process that could have given good FT savings for my team. But then I knew that automation is not the right fit here. So what they needed was simply add a feature in the main application tool itself. And so I contacted the application developers and raised the same. He requested change was happily and quickly incorporated. This helped in building transparency between the process owners and my team as they understood that we mean and are not automating something just for the sake of it. So this is where my job title is little unusual. I do automate things, but my main task is to simplify and optimize the process, not simply pushing automation on top of it.
Yeah, and that is so key and makes such a big difference as you're looking to transform an organization. I think a lot of people tend to fall back and think about scale as the measure of transformation. But for you, it starts with individual processes and looking at how you can optimize them as opposed to just automate them, which is interesting. Can you talk us through a little bit more around your approach to transformation and your mindset?
Yes, see, first I agree with what you are saying. Even I've seen this mindset in people that scaling is the key to true transformation. But for me, it is other way around. So what I feel is that one should work towards an optimized and best solution for a process. All steps should be clearly analyzed and then developed. The view should be at the overall running of the processes. How quick and error free we can make that. Keeping the flow generic also helps with development standards, you know. If this happens, one can scale this at any time without any major extra efforts. And trust me, this will make your life a lot easier. But if you go the other way around, the problem increases exponentially as you will have to focus on issues of scaling as well as issues in the process. And with higher level of scalings, this becomes more and more complex. It is just as if one is building a house. If your foundation is strong, you can build multiple floors on it. But if the same foundation has some faults, do you think it will be able to sustain multiple floors on top of it? Pardon me for this analogy, but personally, I understand better when I map these concepts to real life problems.
I agree. We all have a vision in our minds of a house falling down. A little bit more difficult to envision what it looks like for a process to fall down. And so I appreciate your analogy there. It makes it better for our listeners as well. So I'd like to explore the methodologies that you have employed for successful projects. How do you go about transforming a process? What methodologies do you work through that you found to be successful?
For me, while transforming any project, the first and foremost thing that anyone should keep in mind is to look for right set of KPI that would eventually help the stakeholder, be it time saving, cost, or any other measure. And to achieve this goal, one should follow different stages, or as we call them, stage gates. I know multiple stages makes the process time taking and complicated when you think as a developer, but when you try to understand it from a bigger perspective, you will realize that each step adds some value to your solution. So the first phase here is pipeline review. In this, we ask the business to fill a requirement form with details of the process they are looking to transform and analyze and prepare a high level business case. It is where we select the process which is giving more values to the business. After that, if the process is selected for the automation, then the business case is passed to the next step. That is application assessment. In this phase, we use the application assessment template to decide whether the process is suitable for automation or not by analyzing the application behavior. Then the approved process goes through analyst review, where our analyst deep dive into a process to come up with a detailed business case, a future state process design, and a detailed process view. And once the analyst review is done, next comes the designing phase. Here we prepare the architectural design of the process, get it reviewed, and give a high level implementation efforts and estimates. And finally, then we go to the development phase where we do the actual coding based on the design that we have finalized. We do get this code reviewed by fellow developers via the peer review processes. After the peer review processes, next come the user acceptance testing. Basically, it is the testing that is done based on the acceptance criteria defined by our customer. Only after all the acceptance tests are passed, the solution can be considered for customer onboarding. So we also prepare release notes to maintain what all versions and features we have released. And after all these phases are complete, the solution is ready to be deployed on the customer side. During this business onboarding, the customers refer to PDD, GDD, and other documents for their installations. After this, the solution enters the hypercare mode, wherein we support the customer team with the solution and resolve the issue that are faced in production environment, but only for some time. And with this, all the stages of the process transformation will be completed. So it is like a beautiful journey that focuses on the process and its expected behavior instead of just looking it out to automate and development perspectives, you know?
Yes, it is a beautiful process. It's very well mapped out, and it's clearly a thorough methodology. I know it can still be a challenge sometimes to take everyone on that journey with you. So, as you're going through this process, what are some techniques or strategies that you've found you can use to get business buy-in to what you're bringing to them?
So for any automated team, the main key criteria for its success are the savings. And here saving could be anything that fits in your KPI bucket that can be provided to business once the process gets transformed. So this is something that demonstrates our capabilities. Business trust with the team is our strength as well. So I say this because if the business is not ready to trust you, as despite insufficient displays of technological prowess, if you can't show business benefits on the project, then there is no value of all the investment in terms of cost, time, and effort, you know. So when we are looking at any process to transform, we keep in mind that benefits and savings the business can get after transformation. And that is what we keep in mind while making deals for the new business. And once any business is onboarded, they keep on coming back to us with more improvements or new process transformation as we excel in our deliveries and focus on maintaining a good professional relationships with the business team. And you know, the repeat rate of business is something that establishes our work quality. And this is what we play on while intaking any new business. We normally start with the intake form that is filled in by the business team, as I said, in the stage gates. We have a list of detailed questions that help us in understanding the aim of the business, the structure of the project, savings, the data statistics, hours given, traffic details, and any pain point that they are facing. Process improvement success is ultimately about execution. And trust me, I've even heard this feedback from our business teams that the comprehensiveness of the intake form shows our intent to dig deep into the process from the very beginning to their partners. So it is all a game of quality and relations. If you perform with utmost importance to business, then getting business is pretty much easy.
It sounds like you've definitely used your successes to build a reputation within the business. The business is now coming to you as opposed to you're having to push it onto them. They're now pulling from you, it sounds like.
Exactly.
Yeah, that's great. How long have you been in automation?
So it's been 5 years for me. I'm still the youngest architect. It's been 5 years for now, and I'm still learning. But yeah, the stage gates help me as well as the business to quickly start the career in automation.
Yes, you've definitely come a long way in 5 years. So congratulations. What are your top tips for someone else listening who might be trying to kickstart their career in automation?
So what I will say is aim big and start small. This is the only principle that I followed throughout. If working in automation is your dream, then it doesn't matter which institute or major you have passed out of, but the enthusiasm and dedication with which you work to change your destination. I was a EC BTech graduate, but I'm currently working here in Amazon. And automation was something that made me excited. So I learned it on my own and switched my domain. And it is very rightly that the only place where success comes before work is in the dictionary. It is a prevailing perception in the industry that it is the number of years of experience of a professional that polishes him, her, and makes him or her ready for the next levels. Don't just look at a process from automation perspective. Try to be in business customer shoes and think what you are giving, is it really benefiting the customer or not? Try to simplify the things first and then think of tools and technology. That's what I want to tell to all the developers. It is very common deciding factor that when it comes to one's readiness of new roles or in the hiring process. But if you ask me, the number of years can't be a good judgment criteria for a personal capabilities. It is purely your skills. So believe in that and keep going forward, and you will achieve your desired success. Next thing that I would suggest any developer in automation is to focus on networking. If you want to go quickly, go alone. If you want to go far, go together. Hence, community building is an important pillar in one's career growth path. It is the give and take nature of a community where you learn some and where others will learn from you. And trust me when I say this, I have created my own dream world, a place where I could learn, grow, and spread to others. As it is rightly said, one person's success is not his alone. It belongs to those two who pave the path.
You've given us some really interesting nuggets to take away. Critically, earlier you said trust, and trust is so important. Having a solid methodology, looking at things, building a reputation around the value that you deliver, and really being a partner to the business has really made you successful and is certainly wise words for our listeners. Before we close today's episode, is there anything else you'd like to share?
Not really. It's just that, I have met with many developers. I've seen developers still saying that we are 2 years of experience only and we can't be an architect. That's not right. It's your dedication, it's your community, it's your will to switch on to that role. And if you do it correctly, you will reach there. So yeah, aim big and start small. That's what I would like to say. And thanks for your time.
And thank you for joining us today. And to all of our listeners, thank you for joining us on this episode of Transform Now. Until next time, have a great day.
Cheers. Thank you.
Thanks for tuning in to Transform Now. For more insightful discussions on digital transformation and more, check out our podcast channel where you'll find all of our previous episodes. To make sure you never miss an episode, subscribe to the show on your favorite podcast player. And if you like what you heard, please leave us a review. For more information about digital transformation and the future of work, check out blueprism.com to learn how Blue Prism's digital workforce is enabling enterprise transformation now.